Hello everyone, welcome to TowerGate. It is day 38 of TowerGate, April the 10th, 2017. And here's what's going on. Obviously, things are a bit slow lately with TowerGate, and that has a lot to do with two things. The first thing, the most obvious, is that when Nunes was forced from public pressure to step aside, it kind of threw a wrench in the spokes of the hearings, and everything kind of got put on hold. And so it appears that what Nunes did was he appointed Mike Conaway and Trey Gowdy to kind of be co-heads of the hearings, to be the co-heads or co-chairmen for these hearings as they move forward. And so that's good. I mean, Trey Gowdy's pretty good at getting things together, and I understand Mike Conaway is pretty good as well. So anyway, Nunes will still be on the panel. He'll still be on the committee, still asking questions and still involved. He just will not be the head of that committee. But it matters very little. He communicates very closely, I know for a fact, with Trey Gowdy, and so I don't think it'll change very much. It simply has just slowed the process down, which I think may have been the ultimate goal. And has a lot to do with the next thing we're going to talk about. Again, I was kind of trying to find out what date they might reschedule these hearings. That's kind of the information I've been trying to get, and it looks like they are going to resume the hearings somewhere before the month of April is up. So we should be getting back to the hearings, and once we get back into hearings, then we'll actually have a lot more to talk about on this issue. But right now, there are things going on sort of behind the scenes, which are not really making it in the headlines, but it appears that from quite a few different sources, we're learning that, as I mentioned, the Mike Conaway and Trey Gowdy have put together a list, along with, I guess, Adam Schiff and other people on the committee, a list of about 30 people that they want to interview or question in these hearings. Certainly on that list is Susan Rice, right at the top of the list. This Evelyn Farkas is also on the list, as well as Brennan and Comey, I'm sure, although I'm not sure why you would bring Comey back. He doesn't actually answer any questions. But it seems like what's going on behind the scenes, and one reason why things are kind of dragging along and it doesn't look like much progress is being made, is because about the time that Nunes was stepping down, he had already submitted requests for quite a bit of documents from the various intelligence agencies, the FBI and the Department of Justice. Since Trey Gowdy and Mike Conaway have taken over, they too have come up with some requests for documents that they want. And there are quite a few sources reporting that they are becoming very frustrated because they feel that they are being stonewalled. The information, the documents that they are requesting that they need to prepare their questions for these hearings has not been forthcoming. There's not very much of the information that they requested that they hope to get in a timely manner. It doesn't appear that the Justice Department, the FBI, the NSA, and other agencies are cooperating. They're dragging their feet and they're stonewalling. They're trying to drag this thing out. So this appears to be frustrating Gowdy and Conaway a bit. Because as far as they're concerned, they've made the request for these documents, for this information. They don't know why it's taking so long to get that, because quite honestly, you can call the witnesses in, but if you don't have documents, information that you've requested, it throws a wrench in your spokes as to how you conduct the hearings, the questions that you ask, and the amount of information that you know. Because, generally, the questions that they want to ask, they want to already have a pretty good idea what the answer is before they ask the question. They want to know which way to go with the questions, with the investigation, the direction it would go in, and various things like that. And that's all going to be based on the documents and the information that they receive from the intelligence committees and the Justice Department, the FBI. That's really going to direct where this all goes. And they're simply being stonewalled, not getting that information. And I think there's a little bit of frustration between Gowdy and Conaway they don't seem to be getting very much cooperation. So that's probably the biggest thing that's going on right now, is that the information they've requested is not showing up. As far as the witnesses are going to call, they're probably going to have to show up. And whether or not they plead the fifth, I don't know. But they are going to show up at the hearings, I would assume. I would be very surprised if they don't. And in fact, if they don't come to the hearings being requested, I imagine they'll simply be subpoenaed. And once you've been subpoenaed, you pretty much have to show up. You don't have to, but if you don't, it looks very, very bad. The public perception is it looks very bad. And so these people probably are going to have to come to the hearings. Whether they answer questions or not is another thing. But this appears to be the main thing that's happening now, kind of behind the scenes. And it appears to be the thing that is slowing this process down and keeping them from being able to actually schedule the dates for the to resume these hearings. So right now, that seems to be the major story. They're not able to schedule dates to resume the hearings because they're not getting the information they've requested. And that's basically the main thing that's going on right now with TowerGate. Of course, I went through, I guess it was yesterday or day before yesterday, I guess, I went through some other things. I'm not going to repeat that stuff. But anyway, there are things going on, but it's mostly stuff that's going on kind of behind the scenes. And we're probably not going to start having major information until these hearings are started up again, because there's just not a whole lot happening. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of fireworks once they do restart the hearings. So hopefully, I don't know what Gowdy and Conaway can do to speed things up. I guess they could probably get with the head of the FBI, the head of the Justice Department, the head of the CIA, and maybe put more pressure on them. But it appears at this point, what's being reported by multiple sources is that there's a lot of frustration in trying to get the documents that they've requested so that they can prepare their questions for the witnesses who will be coming in to testify. So that's pretty much where we are today, April the 10th, day 38. It is still the drip, drip, drip. But, you know, they can try to stonewall this. They can try to drag it out as long as they want. But I don't think Conaway and Gowdy are going to back off. I just think that they're going to continue to push and push and do everything they can to get the materials that they need, to get this, to get the documents they need to be able to lay out the strategy and the questions for the hearings. So I expect that this is kind of the tug of war that's going on right now behind the scenes, and probably will continue. But at some point, they are going to have to produce these documents. I don't know if they're just verbal requests, written requests, or if they're subpoenas. But I mean, the Congress does have oversight responsibility. They do have the legal right to request these documents, and I imagine if they can't get them by simply requesting them verbally or with a written document, then I guess they certainly can go to a subpoena. And I would think that if the frustration continues, it will go to subpoenas, which simply drags things out. And I'm not really sure why the Democrats on the committee want to drag it out. I mean, I don't think that helps them. I mean, if they want to drag this thing out, it could wind up running into the 2018 midterms. And that would be a really bad time to have all these people having to testify as Democratic candidates are running to try to get elected across the country. And then they have people like Susan Rice and Brennan and all these people who were working for the previous administration, possibly involved in illegal activities. This is the last thing that you want making the news cycle during a re-election campaign if you're a Democrat. So, I mean, I would think that the Democrats would be best advised to go ahead and get this thing out of the way as quickly as possible, take their beatings and move on. The fact that they're dragging this out, I don't think that this helps them because Trey, Gowdy and Conaway are not going away. They're going to continue to press to get this information until they get it, and they're going to hold their hearings, and that's the long and short of it. So anyway, April 10th, 2017, day 38, kind of a slow day in TowerGate, but things are happening behind the scenes, and we'll continue to follow the story every day. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see if anything new seeps out. of the cesspool and the swamp that we call Washington, D.C. Y'all have a good day, and if anything breaks later tonight, I'll certainly do a video on it. But right now, I think we just have to be patient and follow the process. That's all you can do in the swamp. Alrighty, folks. Y'all take care. Bye.